Death Curse of Tartu has probably the most unique credit scroll I've ever seen. Tartu here actually turns the pages of a book with all the names on it. Like he's the one who's reading who made his own movie. I like it. Now a couple of guys are out in the water. This was filmed in the Florida Everglades, by the way, and it shows. It looks like mosquito heaven. Anyway, Bill here warns Mr. Gunther not to go any further, believing a superstitious story about a man who can turn into animals and attack. But Gunther's a scientific man, here to find an archaeological dig site, so he doesn't believe in all that. He walks in deeper and deeper until he comes face to face with a face. Well, a skull. He finally sets up camp and then back to walking around. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty boring. At least the music is good. He does eventually dig up something. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like a rock, but apparently it's significant. In the cave, we see Tartu arise from his slumber, and the first animal he chooses to turn into is a snake.
I'm a slithery little snaky snake.
Tartu slithers towards Gunther, but honestly, it's not really scary. He's more cute than anything else. Finally, he attacks, and it actually looks pretty real. Maybe that's because it is. Well, kinda. Gunther here is played by Frank Weed, an animal handler, so he knows what he's doing. Actually, all the animals used in the film were weeds. Anyway, he's dead, so who's next? Well, it turns out that Gunther was leading the way for a smaller group to come later, led by Ed Tyson and his wife Julie. The rest are students who are studying archaeology. Again, Billy warns them of the danger of heading in too deep, but they ignore him, instead opting to take a ride on an airboat, going deep into the Everglades, without a guide. Smart. Well, they get stuck and have to hoof it from here. I think I would have brought my high waters if it was me. They eventually find Gunther's camp and that rock he found, so they know they're in the right place, but there's no sign of their colleague. Ed manages to translate the rock, learning the story of Tartu. You see, he was a witch doctor. The movie's words, not mine. He set a curse on the land that whoever would disturb it, he would come back as a random animal and attack. The only thing that can stop him is Mother Nature herself. Whatever that means. Cut over to the students who get some time alone, and my goodness, that guy is eating her face. Go easy there, buddy. They dance, zoom in on their butts. I feel like this is a good time to say that the director of this movie also made Sting of Death, so this scene now makes sense. The dude had a thing for dancing butts. Finally, the next animal attacks, and it's a shark? In the Everglades? Is that even possible? Well, you learn something new every day. Well, anyway, they're dead. Now it's Johnny's turn, who gets killed by a snake. It takes a while, though. He even has time to drink some nasty water. If the snake doesn't kill you, yeah, I'm sure the filthy water will. Seeing how Ed and Julie are the chaperones for this little excursion, and now all but one of their students is dead, they feel partially responsible. So they hunt down Tartu and try and put a stop to it. They make it inside his tomb, finding Gunther dead. But then the opening closes shut, and they're stuck inside with the stiff. That's okay. Ed's got the bright idea to use gunpowder from some bullets to blast the hole open.
This isn't gonna work.
It might.
Well, sure enough it does, and outside they find Cindy, who's dealing with her own problems. This time, Tartu's a crocodile, and Ed thinks that shooting it will do anything. Well, it doesn't, and Cindy falls to her doom, where it chomps off her hand. Well, wait a minute, it looks like she's gonna be okay. Nope, she's dead. Just the adults left now, and they head back to the tomb where Tartu's waiting for them. This time, turning into his old self and attacking Ed, who once again thinks that bullets will do anything to an undead mummy. The fight moves outside, where Julie falls into some quicksand. Ed and Tartu fight a bit until he finally falls in too. Julie's saved in the nick of time, and Tartu's killed the only way possible: Mother Nature. And that was Death Curse of Tartu. It had its issues. For one, there just isn't enough here to fill the runtime. It's mostly just people walking around. They should have spent some more time developing the student characters so we actually care when they die. Instead, we just get to see Tommy eat Joanne's face. Also, the choice of animals that Tartu could transform into was kind of weird. Of all the animals in the Everglades, they resorted to snakes twice and a shark. What were they thinking? I do have to say the music was pretty good. Most of the movie's voices is dubbed over, which is noticeable, but at least you can hear what's going on. Tartu looks pretty cool in mummy form. You know, dare I say, I think this movie deserves a remake. Throw in some different animals and update the story a bit, and heck, I'd watch it. It comes on a double DVD feature with Sting of Death, which, as previously mentioned, William Grafe also made. Of the two, I'd say Sting of Death is just a bit better. The monster at least looked different enough instead of just using animals. All in all, Death Curse of Tartu isn't bad if you're into these sort of B-movies. It's the perfect thing to watch on a late-night public broadcasting horror show. Should you actively seek it out and buy it? Nah, but if it's free, sure, give it a watch. I give Death Curse of Tartu 1.5 makeout sessions out of 4.
Into the lake!
Anything but the lake.
Ah!